Welcome to Somebody Ass is Going to Jail. This your favorite inmate, Cell Block Willie, coming to you live from the big house. What's good, my cellies? Hope all you guys are in great health and great spirits. Today on Somebody Ass is Going to Jail, I want to talk about one of the toughest parts of being caught up in the prison system, and that's the prison release. I know y'all saying, how the fuck being released from prison stressful? But I'm here to tell you, it's one of the most stressful damn days for an inmate. Let me put you up on game. Imagine being an inmate in prison. You're surrounded with the worst of the worst. All the murderers, all the kidnappers, all the rapists, all the drug dealers. That bully that was in 5th grade, they used to whoop your ass. If he ain't straighten his life out, he was in prison with me. So you walking around prison all day with this tough guy persona, full of hostility and aggression, unless you gonna be one of them weaklings and let them boys take your cookies. And Cell Block Willie wasn't going out like no bitch. So I'm here to tell you, it's nothing like they show in the movies. You know, in the movies, they show people getting released from prison, the gate open up, and there's some pretty girl waiting outside with a sports car, and she run to them, they hug each other and kiss, and jump in the car and pull off, and everything is just honky-dory. That's some bullshit. I'm here to tell you, 9 times out of 10, that woman had left your ass to be with somebody else. And if somebody is there to get you from prison, most of the time, it's a family member, like your brother, your sister, your grandmama, your daddy. That's who waiting on you, family. And that's if you're fortunate, because everybody don't have a family to come home to. And there's different ways you can come home. You could come home to your family, or you could come home to a halfway house. At first, I had to go to a halfway house for 6 months. Let me tell y'all about this crazy shit. I got out of the federal prison after doing 8 years. They sent me to a halfway house in Atlanta that sat right in the middle of the hood. When I tell you this shit was in the hood, it was in the hood, in the middle of a whole stroll and a dope trap. So every time you came out the halfway house and they gave you a pass, you're supposed to go out and look for a job, trying to find employment before you can get yourself back into society to being a productive citizen. So you got to walk down this hill, and you walking down this hill, it's a hotel right there. And right in front of this dope hotel is women trying to sell you sex. And you just got out. Ooh, look at you. You so strong. I know you ready to bust one. And on the other side, you got dudes and women trying to sell you drugs. So this is what on your mind and you seeing as you leaving this halfway house. So you got to go out here and try to find your employment. So everywhere you go, to apply for a job, they got to sign this piece of paper saying that you came there and you applied for a job. Just for them to keep track record of everywhere you went and if you was actually out there looking for a job. Alright, so while you're in the halfway house, you got to pay subsistence, right? Subsistence is a piece of a percentage of your paycheck every time you get paid, right? So they wanted, what they wanted, 40% of your paycheck every time you got paid. You had to pay for being in the halfway house, right? And they didn't play about the subsistence. If you didn't have this money, that's a violation. They could damn near send you back to prison because you ain't have these little fees to pay, right? So I remember one time, because the halfway house I was at was a co-ed halfway house. It had women and men. So it was this older lady named Tess. I think she was in there for some kind of like financial frauds, something like that, right? And she was an older lady, I mean like in her 60s. Her hair snow white, all the way gray, right? So she was in the halfway house with us, and she was one of the people that had to walk down this hill. And this was an older white lady, so you know this shit looked crazy. Old white lady walking through the hood in Atlanta, back and forth. So one day she got paid, and she was walking up the hill to the halfway house, and all the hoodlums that was outside right there decided to rob her. So they snatched her purse, beat her up, And she came back in the halfway house and her eye was big as shit, right? So you think these people cared that this woman just got robbed and were probably scared for her life? Hell no. They asked her, where is that damn subsistence at? And do you know, they was ready to send this woman back to prison because she didn't have her subsistence. And you could tell this woman wasn't bullshitting because her damn eye was damn near hanging out of her damn head. Now ain't that some bullshit? But yeah, this is the different things you're going through at the halfway house, right? So when you get out the halfway house, if you make it out the halfway house, because I didn't make it out the halfway house the first time. First time I went to the halfway house, I got kicked out. Because the people in the halfway house, they got away, like the monitors, they're not guards, so they're not walking around with guns and spray or nothing. They're regular people off the street that just got a job at this halfway house, and they're like monitors, you know what I'm saying? They're just monitoring you. But some of these people have a slick ass mouth, and they don't know how to talk to people who just came from a very, very hostile situation, and they don't know nothing but to meet aggression with aggression. So that didn't work out too good for Cell Block Willie. I end up violating and having to go back to prison and finish my 6 months that I had in the halfway house in prison. Then I got released to come home. So now I'm at home. Let me tell y'all about being at home. You got to find a job, right? I got a job at this glass place, right? Called Tough Flex Glass. We temper glass and stuff. So, big warehouse manufacturer place. They was paying halfway decent. So, I was on probation at the time. So, in probation, part of the stipulation is my probation, because I was caught with selling drugs and stuff. I had to go to drug counseling. I had to go down and do a drug test damn near 3 times a week. Let me tell y'all about the drug test. They got this thing called Codaphone, right? Where you got to call this number, and if your number come up, you got to go downtown and take a piss test. My number was 160. So I got to call this number every day. And if they call out a bunch of numbers, 210, 120, 150. If they say 160, I got to take my ass down there and take a damn drug test, right? So this can happen to your ass 2 to 3 times a week. So you got to tell your employer, I'm gonna be a little late today because I gotta go in and take a drug test. Oh, I can't come in Tuesday because I gotta go to a counseling class. How the hell you gonna keep a job when you got all these things you gotta keep up to? All these things, all these different stipulations of probation you gotta fulfill, and it's very hard. And then on top of that, you gotta find a restitution fee, and they do not play about this restitution